Hey friends, thanks for joining me today. I'm going to take you on a tour of my back patio garden. I'm going to show you what I've got in containers and also my raised bed. I'll give you a little update on that, and also my squash. It's really exciting right now because I've had a hummingbird visiting already this morning. The hummingbird seems to really like that purple salvia. So if you're interested on seeing the update of what's going on in my patio, just keep watching. So let's get started. Here's an update on what's going on back here on my patio. Have some things that are really blooming nice and some that are just getting ready to bloom. We'll start here. Now I'll have to admit, these containers are kind of higgledy-piggledy, thrown together stuff that I really didn't research whether it should be together as far as watering and sun concerns, but this is just kind of how I roll, and if I see that they're not liking something, I just move them. So here I've got cosmos that I started from seed. I started them inside, and so they're still kind of leggy. I have a phlox here in the middle. It was not liking where I had it before, so I'm gonna try it in this one where it can kind of be my thriller in this pot. We'll see how long it lasts. We've got rose salvia, got blue salvia, and here's delphinium. Those were my $2 plants from Kroger. Lamb's ear also from Kroger, and Shasta daisy. So everything except these cosmos and that phlox was $2 and started out really tiny. Here's a Coleus that is a cutting, and I've got it in this little planter to let it take root for a while till I put it in something else. Cosmos from seed and a heuchera. This is turning out to be one of my favorite plants. I just really love it. And it's got a little burn on these back leaves. I think I'm still trying to decide whether, how much sun it should get. But the new leaves look really good and bright green. Here is a cantaloupe. I bought this at Walmart. And as soon as I got it home, I dropped it. It just went ka-chunk upside down and broke some of the stems. So I read that if you stake it, see, I've got it staked with some Starbucks straws. I read that if you stake it, you can give it a chance to kind of rehab, just like putting a splint on a broken leg. Now this one is exciting. This delphinium is gonna bloom very soon. I'm gonna stake it because it's kind of starting to get a little floppity. 2 butterfly bush here. Here's my rehab experiment with the lamb's ear. This is the one that got chewed on out in the front yard. So she's gonna stay there until she gets a little bigger. Marigold that I started inside from seed. And that is a foxglove. Some of these foxgloves I want to leave out here in the back because I just want to enjoy them since we're not in the front yard all that much. So here I've got a Gerbera daisy and Shasta daisy. This was one that was a $2 plant and tiny. And Zinnia. I'm going to have to wait and see if that's the mix that I bought or if that is the purple one. Okay, this is a purslane. Now, this plant, I had 2 of them last year, and they absolutely went crazy. You just don't have to do much to them at all. Just give them water, and they will go. And these are plants that they bloom during the day, but then around 4 o'clock they close back up. And they're just gorgeous. It's a little too early right now. The blooms are just starting to open. It's really a fun plant. Here we've got $2 salvia. This will eventually go in the front once it's big enough. That blue fescue, another one that got chewed on by the rabbit. Some cosmos that I started from seed inside. A couple of sunflowers. and painted daisies. So this is all my little baby nursery that I'm taking care of. Cosmos and sunflower. Now these are the same sunflowers that I have over here on the other side that are the dwarf sunspots that I've really loved. Now this is one of my favorite buddies from last year. This is an elephant bush, and he stayed inside all winter long, and now just flushing out so much new foliage. This is another one, just doesn't need very much, kind of likes to be left alone, but when it rains it really fluffs out. In this container, I have the Truffula Pink Gomphrena. I've got, oh man, I think about these plants all day long and now I can't think of the name. It's the Supertunia from Proven Winners, Vista Snowdrift. Here's the Vista Bubblegum. I have some zinnias. I have a lamb's ear, and also I think that's a lavender. Another rocking the deep purple salvia. Black and blue salvia with zinnias. That one's going to be open pretty soon. And also some marigolds that I started from seed. Here we have a peppermint sitting there all by himself because he will get out of control if he goes in the ground. Foxglove. This was a $2 plant from Kroger. Look how huge it is. Zinnias. I've got a couple of heucheras in here, also $2. And then delphinium. And I staked her up yesterday because she's a little more spindly than that other one. And I just don't want the, well actually it's not that I think the wind is gonna snap it, it's that I want this bloom stalk to be able to go straight up like it's meant to. So here is a tomato that I grew from seed. This is Cherry Falls. I have a bell pepper plant right back here that's got some fruit set on it, and also a Roma tomato. I got this from Walmart, and when I reached for it, I thought I was reaching for a different kind of pepper, but when I got it home, it was a tomato. It's like, okay, no problem. This is a Companiona. Here's the tag for it. I don't know anything about this plant. I just bought it at Callaway's this year. It seems to be enjoying being in this pot with a sweet potato vine. And see, I know that the rabbits like the sweet potato vine, but my thinking is that maybe they will come and eat this and leave everything else alone. Dwarf Sunspot sunflowers. And then I love this sweet potato vine. I haven't had this one before with the pink edges. I have a hibiscus here that it really just gives one bloom a day, but they're gorgeous. I have a couple of yarrow, $2 from Kroger. A dianthus, $2 from Kroger. I bet y'all are getting tired of me saying that, right? But I really bought about 40 plants in all of the trips that I made. Cosmos. These were actually sown direct in this pot, and they are bigger than the ones that I started from the inside on seed. So that just goes to show they want to be outside. They want to have the sun, the rain, just so many more advantages. And I don't have a grow light yet, and so they were just in the window and really dependent on whatever sun that they could get in probably about 4 to 6 hours of sunlight. Everything in this pot was grown from seed. Let's go to my raised bed. I still have a lot of little Caesar romaine. I I've got some spinach that I need to harvest, basil, another Cherry Falls tomato, and this is the reason why I put it in this raised bed, because I want it to drape over the raised bed, and that's what it's trying to do. That's what it's meant to do. Actually, Cherry Falls is a tomato that you can put in a hanging basket. It's a determinate tomato, so this is how it's designed to work. It's going to trail over something, and you can see that I've got a lot of fruit set. I have a couple of strawberries in here. And we've got some strawberry fruit that's growing. That's a little romaine that I pulled out as a small one over here and just put it there to see what it would do. Here are my short and sweet carrots, and they still have about 5 more days before they reach technical maturity. Let's see. There are probably some in there that are getting close, but the last one that I harvested was about a week ago, and it was still about the size of a number 2 pencil. Look who's blooming today. Dwarf Sunspot. Now let me back up. So that's the tallest one. That one is probably 30 inches tall, and that's the tallest, so they just don't get that big, but perfect for containers. I have a squash, and then everything else in here is sunflowers that I started from seed inside back in February. Here's another Cherry Falls tomato. I think these have been cross-pollinated with that Roman tomato, because look at the shape of the actual tomatoes. That's going to be interesting. Here's an autumn fire sedum. This is another one that's just so vigorous, and if you just leave it alone, water it, it will do its thing. Lemon coral sedum, lemon slice super bells, and this is, I think, tropical sunset or tropical sunrise, also super bells. And they're supposed to do well when you put them all together. Laura from Garden Answer says that you shouldn't put super bells with Supertunia because their watering needs are different. And then I have a butterfly bush here in the middle. Not sure if he's going to stay there, but he's good for now. Here are some gorgeous Coleus, Zinnias. And that's the Coleus that I took the cutting from earlier. They're really easy to propagate. Chives, another one of those sunflowers. You've seen that before in my sunflower video. And finally, over here by the fence, I've got 3 squash. Here's the in-ground experiment, and here are the 2 containers. Thanks for joining me today. I hope that it gives you a little inspiration for what you might also grow in your garden. Also, leave me a comment down below of what you are growing, and I'm going to link below a few channels, gardening channels that I really enjoy, and I bet you'll enjoy them too. So until next time, happy gardening, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.